Hi everyone, this is episode 4 of the Blood Lecture Series, and today we're going to talk about artificial blood, its progress, and its limitations. Now, the development of artificial blood substitutes remains one of the most ambitious goals in transfusion medicine, and the objective is to replicate the oxygen transport function of the red blood cells, whilst also eliminating the need for donor compatibility and cold storage. One approach to this sort of finding substitutes for blood is essentially the hemoglobin based oxygen carriers, which are essentially just cell free formulations of purified hemoglobin. While they're theoretically capable of transporting oxygen, early formulations were associated with high nephrotoxicity, oxidative stress, and vascular dysfunction due to nitric oxide scavenging, so it does definitely have a couple of practical limitations. Another line of research focuses on perfluorocarbon emulsions, also known as PFCs, which are synthetic molecules that dissolve oxygen and carbon dioxide. Though they're chemically inert and shelf stable, their chemical utility and clinical utility has also been very limited by relatively low oxygen carrying capabilities compared to other substitutes and to blood itself, and the requirement for supplemental oxygen administration. Recent advances in lab-grown red blood cells using stem cell technology is also a very promising sort of area to look at in terms of finding substitutes. And in several pilot trials, cultured red cells essentially demonstrated prolonged survival and potential universal compatibility. So again, it is a very promising field to look at in terms of whether this could actually replace real red blood cells. However, the cost and the scalability of production still remains a very significant barrier to its clinical implementation. So again, that's an area of further research. And while artificial blood is not yet a viable substitute for donor-derived transfusions, it still represents a very frontier sort of technology of biomedical innovation, and it still does have a very great potential to transform the emergency of remote care and providing an actual, tangible, and sustainable substitute to this blood donation crisis.